Hello, everybody. Welcome to Music Talk Mondays. I'm your host, Eddie Lamb. This is a weekly podcast where we talk about all things related to music. So, whether we be talking about our favorite artists, our favorite genres, our favorite bands, favorite albums, songs, soundtracks, other things pop culture related to music, we got it. We talk about it. Thank you guys for joining in today. So, again, my name is Eddie Lamb. Of course, we want to get a few things out of the way before we begin our broadcast. So, if this is your first time tuning into my podcast today, welcome. Thank you guys so much for joining in. This is a really fun podcast where we get to engage with each other here on the interwebs. So we are live on the following platforms. We are live on TikTok, we are live on Twitch, and we're live on YouTube. So thank you guys for tuning in on all three platforms. It's good to hang out with you guys and just talk about all things related to music and other sorts of musical type entertainment. So before we begin, of course, I have an official website. It's EddieLamMusic.ca. I also have other social media platforms, including Twitch, TikTok, and YouTube, like I said, which we're streaming on right now. I also got Instagram, I got Facebook, and I also got Twitter. And it's all under the same username, which is EddieLamMusic. And of course, if you want to make a general donation, if you enjoy the content I've been providing, go to paypal.me/EddieLamMusic. So that is my PayPal page. Of course, I also got Patreon if you want me to do anything cool, such as a video shout out, video greeting shout out, a musical video greeting shout out to your loved ones, whether someone is graduating, someone has a birthday, it's an anniversary, or they just need a cheer up. I can do that. Just send me a message, send me a request, and just let me know that you want me to make something out of that, and I can post it on my Patreon page, exclusively to those who want to subscribe to my Patreon. And that is pretty much it, folks. I just wanted to say, these last several weeks where I've been doing this podcast, it's been awesome. I just love hearing from you people. I just love hearing from your guys' perspective on things when it comes to live music, when it comes to pop culture, and all the other stuff too. So it's great. I just love talking to you guys about musical instruments too, whether it be about piano, guitar, because I play both those things, bass guitar even. I would like to do some more talk about bass, honestly, because, I have a bass guitar. I do play bass, but I don't know too much about the technical sound of things. So we should be talking more about bass guitars in the future for sure. So with that being said, thank you all for tuning in. We're going to go straight to our topic for tonight. So last week I was talking about how would I have booked The Voice Canada if it were to come to, if The Voice ever came to Canada. How would I have booked that show? How would I have organized the whole thing? How would I have structured it? So I talked about how I would have structured it a lot differently. And today's topic is going to be very similar to it, except we're taking on a little bit of a bigger platform of a beast. This one is, how would I have booked America's Got Talent? Before I begin, I just want to say hi to one of our viewers who is a great, incredible personality online, Media Man Dan, who is watching me on TikTok right now. Hello, Dan. Nice to see you. So please give Media Man Dan a follow. I had to do some water here. Drink some water. But yeah, make sure you follow Media Man Dan. Great personality, reviews music, is a great singer too. So yeah. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that, folks. So let's talk about it. So America's Got Talent is quite an interesting variety show. It's a reality variety show, basically. And the way the premise works is that auditioneers, they come onto the stage and they do their thing. And it's up to the judges if they really enjoyed the performance or not. So there's usually about 4 judges. So they hit the buzzer if they feel like they don't think this person is a good act to move on to the next round. And and that's the way it works. And so, of course, if you do a good job, then we move that performer to the next round of America's Got Talent. So that's how it works. Now, here is my gripe about this. So oftentimes, the structure is every year. I've seen this every year. People do their thing, to do their performance, and the thing is, they're competing against another performer. But here's the thing: they're competing against another type of performer that is something completely different. So, for example, we had that one year where there was this guy who sang like Frank Sinatra, really great singer and all that. I think that he was an incredible act to watch. But the thing was, in the finals, he was competing against a dance group, like a really cool, huge ballet type dance group, and they did a really incredible production on their performances too. But my problem with that is when the Frank Sinatra type singer guy won, I don't know, something about that did not really settle right for me. I know it's supposed to be a variety show, but honestly, it's almost like you're comparing apples to oranges, if that makes sense. It's like you're having a carrot compete against a celery. Yeah, like I said, or you have... So basically what it was a singer competing against a dance group. It doesn't really make sense to me. Like, because both acts are good in their own little way. And so this is the thing I was not a fan of when it came to America's Got Talent, because I find that the whole thing is you're just having... Like if I wish there was a way, like if they actually had some sort of explanation to how are they evaluating these performances, if they have an actual structure or at least an actual some sort of theme, then yeah, I'm all for it. Then by all means, evaluate how you want to evaluate it. But honestly, I always find that these shows don't have that kind of, they don't have a voting structure of what they're looking for, and they're not being transparent to the audience. Dan says yes, 100%. Thank you, Dan. I'm glad you agree with my my points here. So so let's talk about that. I want to take you guys out to a different world, an alternate universe where money is not an issue. So I'm gonna put this topic to the test and have you guys talking here in the comments section on both Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok. How would I have booked America's Got Talent if it were up to me? Let's dive right in. So if just FYI, guys, you can watch this replay on my YouTube channel, and you will see all the visuals on here, too. You'll see the points written in text, so typed up in text, rather, and it'll be on there. So that way you guys can take notes, too. So, America's Got Talent. How would I have booked it? Okay, so let's go with a general list of ideas that I have. First of all, cut back on personal stories. This is the thing that really grinds my gears in these performing competitions like America's Got Talent, even American Idol and The Voice, is that they touch way too much on these personal stories. You know how sometimes you even get those sob stories too? I mean, honestly, if these stories were actually legit, real, of course my heart goes out to them if they're facing some sort of a very huge struggling life. But I'd say cut back on the personal stories, because oftentimes, as some critics have said, people have won competitions not because of their ability, not because of how well they did on their presentation, not on how well they've engaged with the audience, but some of these competitors have won because of their backstory, because of the whole thing. It's like, oh, my pet dog is dying, that kind of stuff. So this is where I have to say this, because when you crown winners based on that, it defeats the purpose of a competition. right? Like it defeats the purpose of what the competition is, which is to see how good you are based on your abilities. And if you have the best ability, the judges will make the decision and they crown that person the winner. Pretty simple as that. It's like, who is the better performer? That's how I would evaluate each competitor. So, Dan says, Roomy officials' breakdown of these types of shows was perfect. Awesome, Dan. Thanks for bringing that up. Okay, so next point I want to make is that I would narrow down the categories of entertainment. So each will be different divisions. So I talked about this briefly on my previous episodes before too. So again, this is how I would do this. I would have like a few different categories of America's Got Talent. So maybe each different day, you see like one related to music. You see one related to dance. You see one related to magicians or comedians. You know, that kind of stuff. I'll talk more about that later on because that's going to be the next part in my discussion. But that's the point I want to bring up. I would actually have different categories, different divisions in America's Got Talent. That way, it's more of a fair game. We know who is the better whatever in their respective categories. So I'll talk more about that in a bit, guys. But there you go. That's my next point. Okay, so my third point I would be doing is I would be transparent about the audition process. So I would not only just state this to applicants who apply for the competition, but I would also be transparent about this on the show, on the actual show. So we'll say all the competitors have competed by doing this, and that. And that's how the audition process works. So be transparent about that. That's what I would do. And be completely honest. So my next point, too, for how I would book America's Got Talent, do not, for all that is holy, please do not air the bad auditions. We are almost sick and tired of that kind of stuff. And the reason why I say that is because I feel like, I think we all know this pretty well. They only put on the stinkiest acts because of ratings. It is all because of the ratings. So if you truly feel like you don't feel like watching these kinds of things, the bad auditions part of America's Got Talent, don't worry, guys. There's nothing wrong with you. I, in my personal opinion, there's nothing wrong with you guys. You are making the right decision to not having to watch and sit through that. They are doing this for the purpose of ratings. I'm sure this was all staged. And I always say reality TV is like watching wrestling. It's like watching WWE. It's like watching AEW. It's like watching TNA Impact Wrestling. It's like watching that basically, but they just don't tell you it's fake. Just like wrestling, I guess. But the bad auditions were put there on purpose just for the sake of ratings. And honestly, for me as a viewer who values performers, who actually values performers who are hungry to get themselves out there to an audience, I don't like having my time wasted. Yeah, sure, maybe it's fun once in a while. Maybe, you can do like a little, these, just know that these are just actors. They can do it as more of like a spoof. But to say that these were people that actually came in on audition and you humiliate them in front of millions of people, of course, unless you're paying them, it's just not. I just don't think it's fair for the auditioneers, and it's not fair for us viewers as well. I think it's fair to say we're a little bit tired of having our intelligence insulted. Just saying. Hey, Dan, if you're still with me, let me know if you agree with those points. Before I go on to my next point, I hope everyone is doing okay. I know we have a couple of viewers on Twitch already and on YouTube. And of course, a good number of viewers on TikTok. Again, thank you guys for joining in to my podcast here. It's always good to hear from you guys. Okay, and the next thing I would do to make America's Got Talent more successful, to make it run with more proper structure, reveal how the judges are evaluating each performer. So that's what I would do. So I was saying last week on my on my topic on how I would run The Voice in Canada. There needs to be an evaluation system. So America's Got Talent, I would do the same thing as well. So I would say if I were to run America's Got Talent, have the judges reveal their point system. Say, okay, we're going to rate the performance based on their stage presence out of 10. For creativity, rate out of 10 as well. And so, like market like an out of 10 system, right? So be more like, yeah, I'm going to rate how well they've done this, how well they've done that, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And if any time, and I would say, whenever they pick a winner for the next round, and the other person who gets eliminated, the person who gets eliminated should get some sort of positive feedback, so constructive feedback from the judges, and they should tell them why they did not pick that person. Because this is where I like to say I've watched enough reality food competitions like Chopped or Iron Chef. They've actually explained to people why they decide not to choose this person who lost. They actually explained to them why you lost, which I think needs to be done in America's Got Talent. That needs to be done in America's Got Talent. It's 100%, in my personal opinion. Dan, again, if you're still listening, man, let me know if you agree with everything I'm saying so far. But yeah, so judges need to be transparent about these things. Just say, hey, look, we're only going to the reason why you did not win is because you lacked a lot of stage presence. Although you can play these notes on your piano really well, there's not enough audience engagement, and it's just not wowing us, so we had to cut you. Like that kind of constructive feedback. That kind of stuff. That needs to be explained more. That's what I would do. So, hope you guys are liking the points I'm talking so far, the points I'm projecting to you guys. Again, I'm open to discussions about this topic in the comments section. So please let me know your guys' thoughts on this so far. Let me know if you agree, disagree. We can talk about this. Let's make conversation, everybody. Let's make conversation. Okay, so on to the next section of my discussion. If I were to book America's Got Talent, what categories would I have on America's Got Talent? Because I was saying earlier that there should just be different divisions, because, again, I'm just not a fan of the fact that, say, a dance crew is competing against a magician. You know what I mean? Like, it just does not make sense. Like, how can you say which one's better? Because they're both so different in their own categories anyways. So I think, again, the system I would do is I would just have a division system. So on America's Got Talent, there's America's Got Talent music, America's Got Talent comedians. Okay, so here's the following category. So I said it earlier, music. So when I say music, it's not going to be singers. It's not going to be solo singers, because we've already have that. We've already have so much platforms on television. We got American Idol. We got The Voice. Right, so we got both, and we got X Factor. We already have those platforms. There's no need for solo singers to have to go on America's Got Talent. Just saying, enough platforms on that already. We've seen that. We've seen enough of that. So instead, what they should do for America's Got Talent in the music department is have bands. They can have choirs, and they can have instrumentalists. So, again, listen very carefully. Again, I'm going to say it again. So if I were to have a music division for America's Got Talent, there should be bands, choirs, and instrumentalists. So think about that, folks. That makes more sense, because we don't have enough platforms on television for those kinds of performances in music. So America's Got Talent can have the perfect opportunity for that kind of stuff. Okay, next category I would put is magicians. So magicians, I think that would be a great one. I do love seeing some great magical acts on stage. I love watching magic. I think it's incredible. And I'm not just talking about David Copperfield or Siegfried and Roy. There's lots of other great magicians that are out there that I think people should pay more attention to, because I don't think we get enough uh, enough that kind of exposure out to people out in public. So America's Got Talent should have a magicians division. I think that would be awesome. Next division, I would say uh, comedians. Comedians, I think they need their own platform as well, because I mean I don't often see too much like I've never seen any actual competitions on television where we see who's the best comedian. I think America's Got Talent has what it takes to have something like that, but I think there should be a comedian division, comedy division. So it can be a ventriloquist, it can be, a comedy improv act, for example. I'm just pulling that out of thin air, but comedy improv act, or maybe there could be a sketch comedy act. I mean, who knows? But this is the perfect opportunity for that kind of stuff. So have a comedy division for America's Got Talent. I think that would actually be a very cool thing to see, especially if you do that. If you designate a night, like say you do that on Tuesday, so Tuesdays is comedy night on America's Got Talent, then that would be perfect. Then we're all prepared to laugh. Next is the dance crew. Yes, that would be another category I would put, is one for dance crew, because I haven't seen America's Best Dance Crew on television in a while. It's been a while since I've seen anything like that on the air. I don't know if they're still doing it. A little bit out of the loop on that, but if anything, I guess America's Got Talent can have a dance crew division. So that'll be cool to see what other new acts are out there. And we think about it this way, because when you think about dance crews, you often think about like those hip hop dance crews, right? The ones that dance to electronic dance music, rap music, all that stuff. But I really think this is a good opportunity for the dance crew department to actually have different genres. So jazz dance, they can do ballets, they can do, I don't know, Russian dances. I'm just listing some other varieties out there that I think would be a good opportunity. So that's what I would do. Next category I think deserves a lot more airtime are acrobatic acts, Cirque du Soleil type stuff. People who like spin around out in the air, or flip each other and all that stuff up, and all the cool fun stuff. Yeah. So there needs to be its own division for that as well. So there you go. So those are my top categories I would do. It doesn't have to be all in one season, honestly. Like, say they can do like a music act. So say, okay, let's just say in one season they can just do like a magician's division, comedy division, acrobatic act division, and then in the next season, then they can do one for like musical bands, a division for dance crews, and so on and so forth. So that's how I would. Those are the categories I would have if I were to book America's Got Talent. Have their own divisions, have their own competitions within each other. They should not ever in any way compete with people in different categories. It just never made sense to me, and I think this is a good way to make this show more sense. And hopefully I'm making sense. So yeah, cool. All right, so I'm gonna go on to the next point here. Actually, before I do that, yeah. So I mean, like going back to the category thing. So say for example, magicians on Monday nights, right? So America's Got Talent will schedule in 3 different days. So magicians do their thing on Mondays, and then Tuesdays will be on dance crews, and then the acrobatic acts can be on Wednesdays. Just something like that. That way we know what to look for, and that it's more focused. It's more. There's a lot of directions on it, basically. So yeah. What I would even do too is on the audition part of the show, they could even get people to just. They'll audition and they say, oh, my name is Media Man Dan, and I am competing for the dance crew division, something like that. And then they send them off to the dance crew division, and then the next week you see the dance division happening. You know what I mean? Something like that. So there you go. Okay. So now on to the next section of my discussion on how I would book America's Got Talent. How would I organize the audition process? Okay, so I'm sure some of these points have already been done in real life here for these competitions, but here's my take on what I would do. So first of all, I would make the applications online. So people should just sign up online before the closing date. So have a closing date, and it should be a first come first serve basis. This is the thing that I always find out this is really terrible. I mean, the way it has been done, from what I've been told, they just let everyone apply, and then what they do is that they just screen for who's the best one that they want to pick and put on the show. So you know what? We're not gonna play that game anymore. So what we'll do in the actual, if it were up to me, if I were to run America's Got Talent, this is how I would have done the audition process. So I would say you apply for audition online, and you sign up for which category do you want, right? Do you want to do music? Do you want to do dance? Do you want to do magic? Okay, and then you have to apply by the closing date, and it's first come first serve. And so have a room. Okay, so let's just say, for example, we'll have up to 50 or 60, 60 different, 60 people auditioning per category. Just an example. So then after that, then we cut that, and then that way, the judges are not overwhelmed. The screeners are not overwhelmed by all these applications that are coming in, right? So all they just need to do is be like, okay, only 60 people have signed up, but that's good. Then we can easily narrow it down to who we want on the show. That's what I would do. So first come, first serve. And then what they do is that just send an automated email to confirm whether they've been accepted or if they've been rejected. And if they've been accepted, then come on down to the audition and go on to the next round. So that's how I would have booked that if it were up to me. And then what the staff should be doing on America's Got Talent is they should just book a venue exclusively for the auditions, right? And then book auditions at a reasonable time. The thing I've been hearing about is that when it came to those America's Got Talent auditions, people have had to be there by 6 a.m. But the problem is they're lining up forever, and they don't even get in until 2:00 in the afternoon, which is basically they're waiting for like 8 hours, which is really unfair. So, anyways, Jimmy from Toronto says first come first serve won't work when you're looking for hidden gems. You need hundreds of thousands. Yeah, unfortunately though, Jimmy, I mean, I'm just trying to be a little bit realistic though on just like in terms of like, you don't want to overwhelm the judges, right? You know what I mean? And like it's really hard to really, screen through a lot of people, honestly. But this is where you need to you kind of need to set a deadline. It's like if you really 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 want this, then by all then you have to meet the deadline and just go from there. That's just me, because I always find that I just find that there needs to be a better way to to do this kind of stuff rather than just just picking favorites, right? So first come first serve, and the hidden gems. I mean, you'll always find a hidden gem in every audition process. But again, it does go back to my point though. You don't want to rely too much on these reality competitions to make it anyways, right? So that's just me. But I'm just trying to think of I'm just trying to think of a way, to make this, a little bit more, fairly structured in a way. Again, these are just my own personal ways of doing things. Again, because I'm a very, for me, I'm one of those kind of very structured kind of guys when it comes to organizing things, and I think there needs to be a way to do it without having to do things where you're picking favorites, all that kind of stuff, right? Again, that's just me. So, what else is there? Okay. So book auditions. I would say the staff would need to book auditions at a reasonable time, and what they should do is just have different audition rooms based on the entertainment categories. So like I said, I was mentioning that there needs to be different a division for music, a division for comedians, a division for magicians, right? And let those people compete against each other within those divisions. Now, what they can do is just have different audition rooms based on the entertainment categories. And so that way you're not seeing like, loads of people lining up, right? And it's just, you know what I mean? It's, yeah. So, And the people who go to these auditions, it should be just people who've already signed up and have been confirmed that they've signed up for this. Because from what I'm seeing from it just looks like people just show up and line up and that's it, and they hope for the best. But quite honestly, I would say in order to avoid these lineups and crushing people's dreams, what they should do is just again sign up ahead of time. And if you get picked, then you come to the audition and then go from there. So that's how I would have done it. Let's see. Okay. Now, next point I want to make is that auditioneers should arrive on time. Otherwise, they will get rejected automatically. So here's what I would do. Yeah. So I would actually make that structure where I'm just like, okay, if you don't show up on time for your audition, then you're automatically disqualified. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. But and again, this will make things narrow down a little bit easier too, right? So that's what I would do. Again, because it all comes back to it. It's like if you really, 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 really want this, then you should definitely try to be there on time, and you'd be willing to make the effort on that. So that's how I would do the audition process. So again, let's review the audition process of how I would have booked it. So apply for online. So I would say, okay, so competitors should apply online before the closing date. First come, first served basis. Again, that's just me. Send an email to confirm acceptance or rejection. So and then if you get accepted, then the staff needs to book a venue exclusively for the auditions, a nice big venue like a hotel, for example. Book auditions at a reasonable time. Don't make people come at 6 in the morning. Have different audition rooms based on their entertainment categories. And auditioneers must arrive on time, otherwise they can be disqualified. So I think that's fair. Hopefully, of course, I'm always open to different ideas, guys. Yeah, I would love to hear from your guys' thoughts on that too. Yeah, and that's pretty much it, guys. That's how I would book. That's how I would have booked America's Got Talent. So, I just want to say hi to Cooper on TikTok. Hi, Cooper. Good to see you again. And Jimmy, I'll answer your question later on in the Q&A portion. I would like to, I'll express to you my thoughts on what I'm hearing so far. So again, let's review this whole thing. So how would I have booked America's Got Talent? So, this is how I would have. So again, number 1, cut back on personal stories. Number 2, narrow down the categories of entertainment. Each will be its own division. Be transparent on audition processes. Do not air bad auditions. Again, we're here to enjoy the best of the very best competing. And reveal how judges are evaluating each performer. So have a good evaluation system. Again, in the next section I talked about what would be the categories I would have in America's Got Talent. So I think there should be like a magicians division, a music division for bands, choirs, or instrumentalists, a comedians division, dance crew division, and an acrobatics act division. So that's my take on that. And then next, of course, how would I organize their audition process? Well, apply online before closing date, first come, first serve. Send email to confirm acceptance or rejection. Book a venue exclusively for the auditions. Book auditions at a reasonable time. Have different auditions rooms based on entertainment categories. And auditioneers must arrive on time. Otherwise, they get rejected automatically. So there you go. I think it's a really fair structure in my personal opinion. So, yeah. That's pretty much it, guys. And that's how I would book America's Got Talent. That's just me. Of course, if you guys have any ideas, I would like to hear from your guys' perspective. What do you guys think? Should it be run somewhere around based on my ideas? Do you think it could do better? Do you think it's already good the way it is? Or do you think it should just be canceled altogether? What are your guys' thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments section below. I would love to hear from you guys. Well, that concludes my topic discussion of today. How would I have booked America's Got Talent? So again, guys, don't forget, if you did not catch the early part of this podcast, you can watch the replay on YouTube. and Twitch. So they're both under my username, EddieLamMusic. So you can catch the replay on there. And now it's time for open Q&A from you, the audience, you, the listeners, you, the viewers, right here on the interwebs. So I'm going to go to the first question from Jimmy from Toronto on TikTok, who asked, what did you think of the Grammys? Probably the best pandemic awards show so far. Well, Jimmy, I'm going to be honest with you. I only caught a little bit of the Grammys. I just was not interested this year for some reason. I guess it's just the fact that because we're in the middle of the pandemic, it just did not jive with me really well. It just did not give me the interest. So that's why I decided not to watch the Grammys. And plus, unfortunately, I know I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but I always feel like the Grammys are rigged from time to time, like depending on the categories, but I always do feel like the Grammys have been rigged since day one. Now, there are some good albums that did deserve the Grammys for sure. Like, for example, Random Access Memories by Daft Punk. I think that was great. I think American Idiot by Green Day was actually well received as well. I think that was well deserved. What else is there? Yeah, there's tons of other. I mean, it's so crazy because I know that last year when Billie Eilish won so many awards, she was happy she won some awards, but then when she started winning more, then she's like, okay, this is kind of getting old. I think you should give the award to somebody else. So. I know that I think Billie said that she wished Ariana Grande should have won one of the categories. And I think that's fair enough for Billie Eilish to say that. But it's so interesting just knowing that even when Billie Eilish did not seem happy after winning so many awards, it's almost like something's up. You know what I mean? So those are my thoughts about that. Yeah, and Jimmy says here, Weeknd got snubbed, but performances were great. BTS, Dua Lipa, Cardi, Megan, Styles all did great. Thanks for your thoughts on that, Jimmy. Maybe I'll go on YouTube and try to watch those replays if I can. But I mean, I'm glad BTS finally got nominated. It is great to see like an all Asian pop group get some recognition on at the American platform. But. I agree though. I think that's another reason why I just decided not to watch the Grammys too. It's just the fact that someone like The Weeknd, who sold so many albums recently, it's just so shocking to see that he did not get nominated for a Grammys this year. I was very surprised. I was actually pretty shocked, a little disappointed too. Well, actually, not a little. Mega disappointed. So, yeah. Thanks for bringing those thoughts about that, Jimmy. Oh, but I will say the one thing I do enjoy about the Grammys, however, is when you do see collaborations from different artists. So, if you guys remember that one year where Chester Bennington from Linkin Park sang with... Actually, no, it was Linkin Park. It was Linkin Park, Jay-Z, and Paul McCartney. I thought that was awesome. I think it's an honor to. I think it's a privilege to sing with somebody like Paul McCartney. If I ever had that opportunity to do that, man, I would be blown away by that. I think I would honestly not. I would be nervous as heck for sure, but I'd be very happy. I would be on cloud 9. That's for sure. Another one that I did enjoy for sure was. When Hozier teamed up with Annie Lennox, when I did a spell on you, man, Annie Lennox, she just knocked it out of the park when she did. I put a spell on you. Oh my goodness, she is an amazing legend. And of course, what else is there? Oh yeah, back in 2008, there was that one year on the Grammys. It was 2008. It was Jerry Lee Lewis and Little Richard. They were both playing piano and singing with each other. And I think that was awesome. I think that was awesome to see something like that. So, yeah. It's one of those rare performances that you can catch that I think was just amazing. So, the only thing I would say, though, is that I always wonder if the Grammys are starting to feel a little bit like the MTV Music Awards. Because now I kind of wonder if these last several years, it feels more like a popularity contest. But of course, we all know that the Grammys has stirred up a lot of controversy in the past. Maybe even since the dawn of time. Even I just didn't know too much about it. But there's a lot of people who I know that did not tune into the Grammys at all. So this year especially, and my wife was telling me that this was actually one of the least watched Grammys ever, ever. Like the least watched Grammys ever in history. So again, it's not my. I probably won't be watching it anytime soon, or probably what I'll do. I'll probably just catch some highlights for in the future, and that's it. So unless something significant happens in the Grammys, I don't think I'm interested like I used to be. That's just me. Well, yeah, it could just be me talking because it's the pandemic still, right? But we'll see what happens next year. If they do get better somehow, if they've structured in a different way, then I'm up for it. I'll be open to it, but we'll see. The Juno Awards, however, I do watch it sometimes when I can. But I find out with the Juno Awards, I think it's a little bit more fair in my personal opinion, and they always do a good job of it. They produce their shows in a more unique way. So for those who don't know about the Juno Awards, the Juno Awards is pretty much our Canadian version of the Grammys, basically. So it recognizes Canadian artists, and I think it's one of the most beautiful music awards that I've ever witnessed personally, just from my perspective. One of the most memorable moments, obviously, was when they paid tribute to Gord Downie from Tragically Hip after he passed away. And, of course, one of my favorite moments was seeing the reunion of Bare Naked Ladies playing their old hits, If I Had $1,000,000, and there's dollar bills flying down to the audience. And that was in Vancouver, which I think is awesome. That was in Vancouver, yes. Jamie is asking, what are your thoughts on how millions of white kids are into BTS and K-pop? Why is that? Honestly, I wish I had an answer for that, Jimmy. But I really feel like whoever their label is, the record label is, and their management team, they've done a good job pushing it to the mainstream audience, and I think that's pretty cool in my opinion. It's great to see groups like BTS get themselves out there. Although I think I can. This is just my own personal assumption, my own theory, but I think someone like Psy, when Gangnam Style became such a popular tune, I think he opened the gateways for other Korean acts and got themselves out there. So you have groups like Blackpink. You got groups like BTS that are also getting so much mega attention too. But of course, yes, everyone will enjoy Gangnam Style forever. But although I think next year it's going to be 10 years. 2022 will be 10 years since that song came out to YouTube. So, man, that's been a long time. Oh my goodness, it's been such a long time. Thanks for the questions, Jimmy. I really appreciate that. Keep the questions coming, folks. I would love to do some discussions or answer your guys' questions. Again, I'm open to questions, whether it be about your instruments, your favorite songs, artists, bands, CDs, albums, or any pop culture related stuff in relation to music. I would like to hear your guys' thoughts. So, yeah. I know Jimmy was asking earlier if I've done a music competition in the past. Well, I've done Battle of the Bands stuff before too. But in all honesty, Jimmy and everyone else, like I used to care a lot about whether if I won or not. But in the end, I just didn't anymore, because after knowing there's a lot of politics going on behind these Battle of the Bands competitions, I just wasn't feeling it anymore, And so, again, though, I've shared this before in the past. I was a judge for a local karaoke competition. It wasn't anything huge, but it was it was a nice, cool little gathering, which I thought was well run. And so I was one of the judges, and I was just so glad that the person who won was the one who deserved it the most. And man, I was so happy when the right person won. And again, this was a prime example of how. Because it was exactly what we needed. We needed a voting system. We needed a evaluation system of how we evaluate each performer. And I thought that's what made the competition so well structured and everything. So my hat's off to Tashana, who ran that competition. Thank you so much, Tashana. You did such a great job running that. I had a great time. Oh, dear Guthrie says on TikTok, love the 1 minute tutorials. Thank you so much, Guthrie, on TikTok. I'm glad you enjoyed my tutorials. Uh, oh, hello, Michael. Michael, thank you so much for the donation, my friend. I really appreciate that. Michael just donated to me on TikTok just now. So thank you guys so much for that. But yeah, I really appreciate that. So thank you guys so much for for enjoying my TikTok videos. So again, my TikTok channel consists of the following content. Right now, I have lots of guitar chord tutorials on how to play popular hit songs in just under 1 minute. I also play piano on my channel as well. So and what you can do on my piano videos is that you can, if you sing, use the duet feature on my on TikTok and duet with me on my videos. So that way it feels like I'm jamming with you guys. So and of course lyrics will be displayed on my videos as well. So yeah, feel free, folks. If you guys can sing, again, like I say, you don't have to be the best singer in the world, right? It's all about having a good time. So make use of the duet feature if you can, and just sing along to my piano videos and just post it on there, and just spread the word. I think one of the most duetted videos right now, I think it has to be Metallica's Unforgiven, and then there's also what else did somebody else do? Oh, we have some really talented ladies who used a duet feature and duetted "If I Were a Boy" by Beyonce. So I did a video on that, and I'm really glad people have made use of my videos. I think it's awesome. So yes, if you guys have any more questions, please let me know. Oh, I'm also proud to announce, folks, right here on this video that my TikTok channel has already over 26,000 followers, which is insane. Like I said, my TikTok didn't start taking off until the summer of last year, of summer of 2020. So I was really surprised that I was getting such a huge following, and I'm so glad too. And I'm glad you guys have said that you've really enjoyed my tutorial videos and that you want me to keep making more, and so I did. And then, the next thing I knew, I got media coverage about this kind of stuff, too. I was interviewed by different podcasters. I was being interviewed by a local newspaper here in Vancouver, and they did a coverage on me, an article on me, printed out in public. And it's great, guys. Like, again, it's all thanks to you, everyone here on all these platforms who've been so supportive. So you guys are the reason why we've made it so far here on the interwebs in the music community, and that we're building this music community together. So it's all thanks to you all. Hello, Isaac .not found on TikTok. Hello, thanks for saying hi. Yeah, so you guys have any more questions, please feel free, or you guys have any comments even. If you want to talk about today's, if you want to comment on today's topic too, which is how I would have booked America's Got Talent, please feel free to express your thoughts. Michael Romero on TikTok's asking, have I ever played bass? Yes, I have a bass guitar at home. It's one of those no-name brands, but it still works really well. Works like a charm. And yeah, and also got a huge PV bass amp. It's actually not at home right now. It's in my rehearsal space that I share with a music school in there. So yeah, but it's a nice huge bass amp. I got a good deal from it. But I think I'm really hoping to jam again once the COVID restrictions are being lifted, and once this pandemic's being handled and all under control. I would love to play bass at open mic jams again. I would just like to play bass for various bands, as a substitute, session player, all that kind of stuff. I really do miss that. So here's hoping that will happen again. I do miss playing gigs. So yes, thank you so much for Michael Romero on TikTok for asking that question about bass. Like I said, it would be great to do more talk about bass. I wish I had more literacy on like bass tones and stuff like that. I don't know why, because I did not grow up playing bass. Like it always seems like to me everything sounds the same on bass. You know what I mean? But of course that's a very stupid thing of me to say as a musician. I know that there's a lot more to bass than just playing the notes. I know there's people do look out for tones and stuff like that too, and I would like to dig deep into bass tones in the future for sure. I wish I could have done and just truth be told, I wasn't really like all technical. I wasn't too much into like pedals and stuff like that, like doing pedal talk when I was like, even in my early 20s when I was playing guitar. Like for me, I guess because I was a very simple guitar player. I was just more like, as long as my guitar works, as long as I have a distortion pedal, that's all that mattered to me, right? But then when I discovered more effects that are out there that benefit me, then I kind of got a little bit more into pedals. But I'm still not quite the big pedal geek like some people are. Some people have like probably 50 other pedals in their rehearsal spaces, right? But again, for me, I just like the one type of pedal that I just need in order to get things going. Well, actually, sorry, let me rephrase that. As long as I have the following pedals, so the ones I have that I think matter to me the most is a tuner pedal, a distortion pedal, a chorus pedal, so I can do 80s music, and another one is a reverb, which I recently got. I finally got myself a reverb pedal, and it's really cool. And this one I think I would recommend a guitar player should have, which I have, which is really cool, is a delay pedal. The one I use is a Line 6 DL4, which I've had for over 10 years now. Originally, I was using that pedal because I wanted to do some looping stuff. So kind of like how Katie Tunstall and Reggie Watts, they would record something and then they play it and it loops basically, right? So that's what I used it for initially. But then when I discovered that I can use it to do some really cool echo effects, I've used it to, say, for instance, play U2 covers, because Edge's signature sound is all about the delays, right? So there you go. Awesome. Well, folks, I think that's about it for today on my podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really, really, really appreciate you guys tuning in each week. I do this podcast every Monday. I know, and again, folks, I do apologize that I have not posted any musical content on my YouTube channel specifically lately. It has been really busy on my end. Like I said, I'm also a music teacher as well, so I've been teaching people in my hometown of Vancouver, Canada. But it's been rewarding as well. I feel really blessed to be teaching a bunch of really cool students who are going to be future musicians, playing in bands or solo or whatever it may be. But for sure, folks, down the road, I will try to update my YouTube channel full of musical content again. But in the meantime, I really appreciate you guys supporting my podcast here each week. I really appreciate that, guys, so much. And of course, go to my Instagram, go to my TikTok channel as well. I do have content on there constantly, so you can follow me on there. So that is pretty much about it, folks. So with that being said, I'm just going to remind you guys again, I got an official website. It's EddieLamMusic.ca. I'll point this way. That's my website. I also got Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. That is my username on there, EddieLamMusic. And, of course, I got PayPal, paypal.me/EddieLamMusic, patreon.com/EddieLamMusic. No content on there yet, but, of course, my Patreon will be used. If you guys want me to make a greeting video to your loved ones on whatever occasion may be, birthdays, anniversaries, graduation, or maybe just a little cheer up, again, send me a message, send me an email. I would love to make that happen for you guys. So there you go. And if you guys have any other topics that you want me to discuss in the future that you think it's worth talking about, please message me as well. Send me a message on Instagram. Just let me know that you follow my podcast, and I would love to hear your guys' suggestions on what I should talk about. And if I feel like it's a good fit for the podcast, then I'll talk about it to the best of my abilities and go from there. Oh, B-Dub, it's all good, man. It's okay. So again, for those who just waltzed in just now, don't worry. You can catch the replay of this podcast on my YouTube channel. YouTube channel is EddieLamMusic, so same name as my username on TikTok and all the other platforms. So make sure you check that out. All right. Well, thank you all very much. Thanks for tuning into my podcast tonight. I had a great time talking about tonight's topic, and I hope you guys did too. And feel free to add comments on the comment section on either Twitch or YouTube, whichever one you feel comfortable. And yeah, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts. So please subscribe. Please give me a follow on all my social media platforms, and I would love to keep in touch with you guys. So in the meantime, you guys, stay in touch, stay safe, and of course, stay awesome. Have a great night.